He will be at the White House today to talk about it. Nan says ABC's Em Nguyen.
French President Emmanuel Macron is arriving in Moscow today to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Macron says he believes a deal to avoid war in Ukraine is within reach, telling a French newspaper that he hopes diplomatic talks will be enough to prevent military conflict, just as Ukrainian civilians intensify training to defend themselves if necessary.
A 24-year-old Navy SEAL candidate from New Jersey died over the weekend shortly after taking part in grueling training known as Hell Week. The Navy says it is conducting an investigation into what happened. With COVID cases on the decline, New Jersey's governor is expected to lift the school mask mandate today. New York City could also lift its mandate requiring proof of vaccination to enter bars and restaurants as soon as this week. In Ottawa, Canada, a state of emergency has been declared. Authorities say protests over vaccine mandates for truckers have spiraled into a nationwide insurrection. CTC's Rachel Aiello.
We are seeing hundreds of trucks basically gridlocked the entire downtown, surrounding the streets around Parliament Hill, where our legislators go to work every day. There are thousands of protesters. They've got bouncy castles. They've set up saunas. They have systems to run gasoline to the trucks.
The head of Spotify, who reportedly agreed to pay Joe Rogan $100 million for exclusive rights to his podcast, sent a letter to employees over the weekend saying silencing the vaccine skeptic is not the answer to Rogan's rhetoric.
Now it appears Rogan has lost one of his most prominent supporters, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The movie star originally defended Rogan, but when asked about Rogan's use of racial slurs, The Rock called it a learning moment for himself.
That's ABC's Rhiannon Ali. Just in, the parent company of budget airline Frontier buying Spirit Airlines in a nearly $3 billion cash and stock deal. This is ABC News.
Jerry and Larry's family auto shop needed a small business loan fast so they could hire more help. Jerry suggested OnDeck.com, but instead Larry called
Loan Cannon, launch the cash! Oh yeah!
Oh no. Oh, right in the fender.
Stop, Loan Cannon! Why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to apply in minutes and, if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As America's largest online small business lender, OnDeck has funded over $14 billion to businesses like yours so you can borrow with confidence and get your loan fast. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai giving an interview to a French newspaper about the social media post where she accused a former Chinese government official of sexual assault. She tells the paper that the post was, quote, an enormous misunderstanding now. The interview arranged by China's Olympic Committee, but the report said Peng Shuai appeared cautious when she was talking. 8 years after a deadly shooting in a movie theater outside Tampa, a trial is getting underway today.
It started with an argument over texting in a movie and ended with Chad Olson shot dead and his wife injured. Retired Tampa police officer Curtis Reeves, who is now 79, was arrested 8 years ago, but the case is just going to trial today. Reeves testified there was a confrontation and he pulled out his gun when he felt threatened. He's been out on bail after 6 months in jail. There's been years of delays because of pretrial hearings and then the pandemic, this case bringing Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law to the forefront yet again. Lionel Moise, ABC News, Miami.
Human error is now being blamed for tainted water in the capital of Texas. A boil water advisory has been in effect since Saturday. Austin City Manager Spencer Cronk.
This has been an incredibly frustrating experience for all of us. We know that you have all been suffering through this winter storm.
The problem, what's been described as an operational error at a water treatment plant. Officials are hoping to be able to lift the advisory by tomorrow. This is ABC News.
Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside app and get 25 cents per gallon cash back on every gallon of gas you buy. Don't miss out. Millions of people have earned over $200 cash back every month just by using Get Upside and getting gas, which you were going to do anyways. There's no catch. It's simple and free. Download the free Get Upside app now and use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's promo code HYBRID.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
An area of low pressure will bring moisture into North Carolina today. Areas well to the west and north have the potential of seeing freezing rain early as temperatures are below freezing. As we head throughout the rest of the morning, we're going to see a warm up. Look for a transition into all rain throughout the day. Highs heading into the upper 30s and mid 40s. Tomorrow is going to be a milder day with a lot of sunshine, highs in the low to mid 50s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for Rutherford County and surrounding areas this morning. Light freezing rain may lead to some slick roads and bridges around the county during the early morning hours. Any icy road conditions that do develop are expected to improve by mid-morning. Given the possibility of dangerous travel conditions, Rutherford County Schools, of course, will operate on a 2-hour delay today because our temperature has currently dropped to 32 degrees. We had 34 earlier. Now it's 32 degrees, so we'll watch that weather for you. If it's raining somewhere, that stuff may start freezing, so just be careful. Now I have these death announcements. Mike Flynn, age 73, of Bostic, died Saturday, February the 5th at Atrium Health in Charlotte. Funeral arrangements incomplete and will be announced by Paget and King Mortuary. Billy Lemons, age 76, of Ellenboro, passed away Monday, January 31st at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at the Caroline Congregational Holiness Church. Burial will follow at Mount Olivet Baptist Church Cemetery with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church, and Harrelson Funeral Home is serving the family of Billy Lemons. Joseph Urbane Turner, age 96, of Forest City, passed away February 3rd after a brief illness. The funeral service will be at 2 o'clock today at Adable Baptist Church. Visitation will be held from 1 until 2 prior to the service at the church. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service is serving the family of Joseph Urbane Turner. Willard Buddy Jenkins Jr., age 63, of Mooresboro, passed away Tuesday, January 25th, at his residence. A celebration of life will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Father's Vineyard, Oakland Road, Spindale, and Harrelson Funeral Home is serving the family of Willard Buddy Jenkins Jr. Margaret Ford Burke, 88, of Bostic, died Thursday, February 3rd. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Tuesday, February the 8th, at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The visitation will be from 5 until 8 Monday at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Margaret Ford Burke. Kathy Diane Peacock, 68, of Chesney, died Friday, February the 4th at Spartanburg Restorative Care. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Wednesday, February the 9th, at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Kathy Diane Peacock. Gail Bailey, age 70, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday due to a house fire. A memorial service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Monday to February the 14th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral Home serving the family of Gail Bailey. Lisa Jordan, age 45, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, February the 1st, at her residence. No formal services will be conducted, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service has been entrusted with serving the family of Lisa Jordan. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. Complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:30, and then again 11:35, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on the most information for the Foothills, WCAB in Rutherford. Well, the Tar Heels got beat Saturday by Duke, 87-67, 87-67. And starting this morning, a little after 8 o'clock, we'll start our drawing for the Be My Baby Valentine promotion this week. We'll start drawing this week with the preliminary gifts and prizes, and have the big drawing next Monday on Valentine's Day, February the 14th. So get your card in if you have not yet done so. Post Office Box 511, Rutherford, WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherford. Time now for the Bill O'Reilly Morning Update on WCAB.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. AMAC is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful news, and a magazine full of uncensored content. They are pushing back against efforts to defund the police, weaken the borders, and corrupt our youth. But they need your help. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. On this Monday, now that a new study from Johns Hopkins University, one of the best research schools in the world, says that COVID lockdowns did not save any lives. Now that that has been established, I think all governments have an obligation to get us back to normal ASAP. Now, we acknowledge COVID will be here. But if you are vaxxed, it's kind of like the flu if you get it. If you're not vaxxed, well, that's a different story. But under our freedoms, you have a right not to get vaxxed. The government can't tell you to do that. Private business can, the government can't. So the government has got to stop all of this COVID mandate stuff right now, because the science now says all of the lockdowns, all of these mandatory things did not save any lives. So it is time for Americans to demand that life return to normal, because these things attached to COVID are hurting us all. I mean, just put yourself in a position of kids going to school. The psychological impact is drastic. So let's get back to normal. Now this. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Anything you want to say to Old Man Winter?
Go away!
Relax and cuddle up to your radio. We'll keep you warm. WCAB.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
Abilene, Kansas was established as a destination for the cattle drives coming up from Texas. It prospered well with large clothing and grocery stores and restaurants that rivaled the fanciest eastern ones. It even had a 3-story hotel. The main patrons for these establishments were young Texas cowboys flush with money. So along with the stores and restaurants, saloons, gambling houses, and houses of ill repute also sprang up. In reality, Abilene was established for 2 reasons: to relieve the cattlemen of their cattle and the cowboys of their money. According to one cowboy, "I had to sow my wild oats, and I regret to say that I also sowed all of my money right along with the oats." Bear River Tom Smith was their first marshal. He was killed because he didn't use his gun often enough. His replacement was Wild Bill Hickok, who was fired because he used his gun too much. Finally, the residents and businesses decided they no longer wanted the cowboys to return to Abilene. So on February 8, 1872, the town asked them not to come back. This didn't bother the cattlemen. The next year, they just went further up the rail to Ellsworth and Wichita. With no customers, the bars, gambling houses, soiled doves, as well as the clothing stores moved up the track. Even the 3-story hotel was disassembled and moved to Ellsworth. Realizing they had made a mistake, the people of Abilene asked the cowboys to come back. But it was too late. They had found markets for their cattle and money elsewhere. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Well, it's a brand new week. Let's get started now with our Call Around the County News segment. Find out what's been going on over the weekend. And stopping first with the Sheriff's Department, and Deb DeLowry is there. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing great. Tell us what's been going on over the weekend.
Yes, sir. In the past in the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 208 calls. The jail has processed 22 arrests, and we currently have 167 detainees in the jail. Under arrest reports, we have Stephanie Pitts of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Samantha Chassie, no address listed, charged with domestic violence protection order violation. We have Robert Bruce Johnson of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Braxton Kelly Atkins of Mooresboro, charged with domestic violence protection order violation. Kimberly Shea Clements of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, failure to appear on felony. We have Amos Gus Irvin of Forest City, charged with extradition, fugitive other state, simple possession Schedule 4, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of Schedule 6. We have Jeremy Christian Clark of Ellenboro, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession with intent to manufacture or deliver methamphetamine. Rita Hull Yelton of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Damon Aaron Peacock of Arden, North Carolina, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Cody Herman of Forest City, charged with unauthorized use of motor vehicle and assault on a female. Michael Wesley Young, Jr. of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Rasheem Jaquay Baker of Forest City, charged with civil possession, Schedule 6, and carrying concealed gun. Under incident reports, we have Deputy Lance Johnson reported an incident of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine. We have Caroline Baptist Church reported an incident of breaking and entering. Ronald Scott Carter reported an incident of fraud. Robertson Creek Free Will Church reported an incident of damage to real property. And Sierra Nicole Humphreys reported an incident of felony larceny. And that's it.
Debbie Lars, sound like a busy weekend.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the report. Thank you. You be safe out there today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye. And we'll check with them. We'll check with them each morning to find out what's been happening in the past 24 hours. Now, you can hear this report again a little after 8 o'clock, and then this afternoon at 5 o'clock during the afternoon call-around report also. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you? so you can get back to the job of running your business. Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled Aryee. Now let's get the Communication Center report, 911, see what kind of calls they've received over the past weekend. And Amanda's on the phone right now to give us that news. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. What's on that report?
On the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 737 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 86 for the emergency medical services, 208 for the Sheriff's Office, 68 for Forest City, 9 for Lake Lure, 55 for Rutherford, and 48 for Spindale. Cliffside Fire Department had a structure fire assisted by Sandy Mush, Ellenboro, and SDO. Forest City had a fire alarm. Hudlow had a fire alarm. And also a motor vehicle crash in Rutherfordton had a fire alarm, and that is all.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now we'll check in down at Danieltown, the SDO Fire District, see what kind of activity they've had over the weekend. And Ruby Taylor's on the phone to give us that news. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on the report from Danieltown?
Well, the fire department assisted Cliffside with a structure fire. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Reagan Clark and Elena Ezel having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs in the neck today and tomorrow. And Jim, that's all I got.
All right, Ruby, thank you. You have a good Monday.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Well, Gary Wilson is out of pocket this week due to some circumstances, and we'll skip over the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, go straight to Bostic, North Carolina, and DeVern Upton will give us a report from over there. She's on the phone with me right now. Good morning, DeVern. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing great. You have a good weekend?
I sure did. Did you?
I did, yeah. You have any snowflakes fall over there in Bostic this morning?
Yes.
Did you? You had some snowflakes falling?
Hadn't seen a thing.
Yeah. Well, I haven't either.
Our temperature over here is 34 and raining. School's on a 2-hour delay. Fire department done a live burning Saturday. Bostic town meetings this afternoon at 5:30. And we want to give Star McGinnis a shout-out for her birthday and wish her a happy birthday. Hope she has a wonderful birthday. And go by and place your order for Valentine's Day at Bostic Florist. And there's a women's meeting tonight at 6 o'clock at Concord Baptist Church. And hope everyone stays in today and stays safe.
Thanks, DeVern. You have a good day over there as well, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Bye. DeVern Upton reporting from Bostic, North Carolina. And not too far up the road from Bostic, between Bostic and Sunshine, Bostic Sunshine Highway is Washburn Store, one of our favorite places, historically significant for us here in the county. If you go back and look at the history of Washburn Store, you'll love it as well as I do. And they make you feel very welcome. Now, they are closed on Mondays. They got new hours for a while. Mondays, they're closed. Wednesdays, they're closed. And Sundays, they're closed. But they'll be there tomorrow. So we'll go by and check them out and get the things you need. The things you can't find anyplace else, well, you'll find right there. And all the items they have in the store, good old made in good old U.S. of A. A lot of them are made in North Carolina. So let's localize things and shop local and shop at Washburn General Store. They'll be back in action tomorrow, ready to meet and greet you. Let's go to Bob Hodge now. He's over in the Hudlow Fire District with our report today. Bob, good morning.
Well, good Monday morning.
It is another week, Bob.
We're starting a new week here. Yeah.
Have you seen any snowflakes this morning, Bob?
No, I hadn't been out, but I've looked out and looked like we've got a little mist of rain a little earlier there, and might be some icy spots this morning.
Yeah, there might be.
So I'd have to be careful, especially in shady spots or on bridges overpass and everything. But maybe this will move out after a while and look like we've got a nice week coming up. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's going to warm up a little. And, Jim, with the fire department over the weekend, we've answered one vehicle accident call. Wasn't much to it. And we answered a couple of medical calls. And that's about it up here. Things are running along good so far up here this morning. I see schools is delayed a couple hours, so ain't no buses running so far this morning.
That's right. Yeah, those secondary roads could ice over real quickly this morning, so they didn't want to caution. They didn't want to have any problems, so they decided to do it late a couple of hours. I think it's a smart call.
That's right. Sure is, because you can't ever tell when you run into a patch of ice or something there. But, Jim, that's about it up here, so you have a good Monday now.
You too, Bob. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bob Hodge reporting out of the Hudlow Fire District.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
All right, we're heading over toward the Cherry Mountain Fire District now, and that's where Sue Price is. And she's got her eye on things for us and reporting to us today. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
How was your weekend?
It was all right, yeah. Everything went good.
Good.
Well, let's see. I hadn't had any calls from the fire department, so that's a good thing. No birthdays or anniversaries on either of my calendars this morning, so I don't have anybody celebrating. But we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, the blood drive at the Golden Valley Community Clubhouse will be February 14th from 3 to 7 p.m. So if you can give blood, come on out and do that. It's a good thing to do. It might save a life. And so far, that's the only announcement I have. It's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
You enjoy your day as well, Sue, and I will be back in touch with you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, this is the kind of thing you don't hear at an expensive place like Grove Park Inn. Generally, you read about these kind of things at some of the lesser expensive motels and hotels, but multiple people have been treated for overdoses in the Grove Park Inn in Asheville, police have confirmed. Officers were with the Asheville Police Department responded to the Grove Park Inn and said they have found several people that have overdosed. 6 people were conscious and alert after Narcan was administered. They were still taken to the hospital for evaluation afterwards. Officers responded to the overdoses one day after Buncombe County health officials sent out an alert from the new Spike Alert System Friday, cautioning that there has been a significant increase in cocaine and fentanyl overdoses in the county. And this is, of course, a developing story. They'll have more than WLOS TV is reporting of this. They'll have more of that later. Don't know who those subjects are, but 6 couples, I believe it was, 6 people at least, overdosed in the Grove Park Inn, of all places. I'll be back with the next phone call in just a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now let's see. Let me just look at our temperature. We're at 32. We're right at the freezing mark, so it may. I don't think it's raining right now. But if it's raining in your section and it's freezing, watch out for that. So that's what we're cautioning about this morning. Or let's head up to Shingle Hollow Fire District. Tina White, how you doing this morning?
I am doing well this morning.
Good.
It is 34 degrees up here, so we're just
Good.
2 degrees warm.
You're above the freezing mark.
Yes. But it looks gloomy out there, gray skies, and it's cold. Everybody be safe out there on those roads. Well, the fire department had a call this morning. They went out to assist Rutherfordton with a house fire, and on the way there it was canceled, so hopefully they got that fire put out. And today is a day for birthdays in Shingle Hollow. I'm telling you, we have on Piney Knob's calendar, we have Abby Lale, Pam Williams, Madison Leon, Jeanette Jackson, and Beth Flack. And then on Pleasant Grove, we have Miss Edith Bennett. So I hope all of these have a wonderful birthday and celebrate big. Announcements. Piney Knob Baptist Church wanted to invite the community to a Valentine dinner this Saturday at 5 p.m. There'll be donations accepted. There'll be a chicken or pork chop dinner with sides and dessert. Also, they wanted me to tell the community and the county that the Daddy Sisters will be at Piney Knob on February 27th. And I will let you know later if it's morning service or evening service. I got it mixed up last time that they were here, so I want to make sure that I have, have the right time to tell you about that. And that's all I have this morning.
All righty. Well, you got big plans today. You're going to sort of sit around. Take it easy.
Well, I had a kind of a bummy day yesterday. I spent the day in the bathroom. I think I ate something's wrong. So today I'm feeling the side effects or the symptoms kind of draggy this morning, but I'm gonna try to conquer it with God's grace and mercy. I'll make it through the day.
There you go. That's a good attitude. Well, listen, I hope it's a good day for you.
Well, thank you very much, and you have a very blessed day, and I will talk to you in the morning.
Thanks, Tina. Bye.
Bye-bye.
7:33 on this Monday morning. We got this week is Valentine week for us. Next Monday is Valentine's Day, of course. We're drawing all the cards, or drawing this week every day. We have cards already sent in, and we'll be giving away various gifts, many nice gifts that'll be given away. And starting today, we'll do that a little after 8 o'clock this morning. We have first drawing, and then next Monday, the 14th, will be a grand prize winner of some lucky couple will get treated like royalty, courtesy of WCAB, and some many fine sponsors who make it happen. We'll get to our next phone call to Union Mills right after this.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
All right, we're stopping off at Union Mills on our route around the county, and Brenda Kelly is making us feel welcome this morning. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How about yourself on this magnificent Monday morning?
I'm just happy as I can be.
Well, that's good. Did I tell you that our youth pastor passed away Wednesday night?
No.
Yeah, he always. I don't go on Wednesday nights because I don't like to drive at nighttime. The lights blind me, and I'd hate to be somewhere and couldn't see and hit somebody. But anyway, it was about 15 to 7, and he wasn't feeling good. So our preacher told him, he said, "Come on, I'm taking you to the hospital." And they started out to church across the parking lot, and he had a massive heart attack and died.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, 63 years old.
Oh, and what was his name?
His name was Doug Barnes. They lived in Saluda. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
And he could sing and play instruments, and him and his wife did puppets, and at Christmas time the children would do the Christmas story with puppets.
Yeah.
And yesterday was a real sad time at church, I'm telling you.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, he'd be hard to replace with that kind of talent.
Oh yeah. It was his day to sing the solo yesterday. But the bass singer that sings in the praise group, he stood up and sang, and he got a little bit choked up toward the end of his song, and he just had to let the music play and him get himself back together. But he finished up okay, but we all understood.
Sure.
So, but we hope everybody's having a good Monday. I haven't seen any snowflakes, and it's not but just a tad of moisture out back, just a spot here and there. So it's drizzled just a little bit, but not much. And I've got 28 degrees on the front porch, so that's
cold.
That's cold, it is. So everybody just be careful. And in ways of announcements, Saturday, February the 26th, Union Mills Wilderness Race, 5K, 10K, and virtual options. In-person race starts at 10 a.m., and the cost is $25. Pre-register at the website. Information fund on UMLC Facebook page or by contacting 828-429-5871. And so that's all. I got some music that'll start later on, but I'm not going to announce it just yet. But we got the 5K, 10K race coming up. If you want to get in there and run, today I can't run. I got up, I don't know what's wrong, but just below my knee on my right leg, something's wrong. And every now and then my leg just gives way, so I got my walking stick out.
Oh, my goodness.
But it is what it is. I'm old and wore out, Jim. That happens, don't it?
Still got a sharp mind, though, don't you?
Well, I don't know. I like to think so, but some people may think I don't.
Well, you keep doing those crossword puzzles. That'll keep your mind sharp.
Well, it's jigsaw puzzles, but I've got one started this morning. But I do word search and jigsaw, and I play Scrabble.
Yeah. That'll keep your mind sharp.
Yeah. So I went yesterday down to my neighbor's house, and we had 4 games. She won 2, and I won 2. But we help each other.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Well, I hope you...
We sort of make up our own rules.
There you go. Well, you can do that when you're playing your own games, right?
That's exactly right. But I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan, see if everything's all right with him. And we do wish Gary Wilson the best with his procedure.
Yes, we sure do. He'll be back a week from today, I hope.
Well, we hope so, too. We miss him.
Yes.
But you have a good day.
Thanks, Brenda. You, too. Be careful up there.
Catch you later.
Bye. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. All right, we're going over to Ellenboro now. That's where Luther Gilligan hangs around and gets himself in trouble sometimes at Ellenboro, but he's a pretty good fellow. Luther Gilligan, good morning.
He stayed in trouble, but he has a good time talking his way out of it.
You have a good weekend?
Had a great weekend. Didn't do anything, sort of relaxed, and just enjoyed it. Went to church yesterday and last night, and everything going good.
Good. That's a way to enjoy your weekend.
Let's enjoy it. But it's quiet this morning. That's going on. Everybody just trying to get another week started, get back in the groove, get going again. You see, the fire department, they had 3 medical calls, 1 gas leak, and went down to Cliffside and Sandy Mush on a structure fire down on Burgess Street in Henrietta about 7 o'clock last night. So they're quiet this morning. Help's going on. So everything going good down here. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther, have a good day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Thanks, bye. And it's time for birthdays on this 7th day of February 7th. Call your birthday into us so we can celebrate with you at 287-3356. That's 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries we'll celebrate next.
Hey folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Granny B's over in Spindale, they got a new menu. You should take a look at that menu. You'll be thoroughly impressed. Here's some of the items on it. 3 special pancakes or 3 fruit crepes. 3 special pancakes, plain pancake, blueberry, strawberry, chocolate chip. And the crepes are apple, blueberry, strawberry, chocolate chip. You can get 2 eggs your way, add a side, omelet style 3 eggs, only $6.25. Served with Western omelet, served with cottage cheese, cottage fried potatoes, French toast. You got all of that, sausage and gravy. They have regular coffee over there, espresso coffee, Americano, latte, and cappuccino. It's a great place to eat breakfast. Now, they're closed on Mondays, but they'll be there first thing tomorrow morning. Go by and have breakfast with Granny B's and see what you like about them. Right Main Street there in Spindale next to the Shake Shop. Happy birthday. Happy birthday wishes going out to Kay Reed of Rutherford, in case turns 42 today. Shannon Smith over in Ellenboro is 51. And Shirley Gilbert's having a birthday today as well. Also, some national known birthdays. 1804, John Deere had a birthday. He was the founder of the Deere Company, the John Deere. He died in 1886. 1812, Charles Dickens was born, died in 1870. Laura Ingalls Wilder was born in 1867, died in 1957. In 1962, Garth Brooks was born. Some of the events on this day include 1940, Pinocchio premiered. 1961, Jane Fonda makes acting debut. I won't make any comment there. 1969, this is Tom Jones' debut on ABC. National Fettuccine Alfredo Day. National Periodic Table Day, and National Send a Card to a Friend Day. So there you go. You're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
Stinking thinking has ruined careers and friendships, whereas right thinking encourages success and a sense of well-being. But right thinking doesn't just happen. It is the product of programming. We have to work at thinking right. We don't have the advantage of innate programming like that of the swallows that fly to San Juan Capistrano in California every year on March the 19th. Who programmed these birds to fly 6,000 miles from Argentina and arrive exactly on time year after year? Who gave them an attitude to believe that they could do it? Each swallow carries a little twig in its mouth. When it is time to rest, the twigs are placed in the water and the bird rests on it. When it's time to head out, each bird picks up its twig and flies on. I don't know if the birds put any thought into making this trip, but if they do, they are to be commended. That's a real trip. Humans do not have the same innate abilities, but we have been given the ability to think. Jesus said, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." What we think we can achieve is a major step forward in accomplishing it. What we think about to a large extent determines what we are. We need to be sure that our thoughts are positive, pure, constructive, loving, and kind. Such thinking helps to mold us into the kind of people God wants us to become. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
The most WCAB.
Chancellor Olaf Scholz. The visit comes almost 2 months to the day that Scholz took office and at a critical time for the U.S.-Germany relationship. The threat of a Russian invasion of Ukraine will be the big topic on their agenda. The two leaders will sit down together in the Oval Office and later take questions from reporters at a joint press conference. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
An investigation is underway to figure out what killed a 24-year-old Navy SEAL candidate from New Jersey who died shortly after completing grueling training known as Hell Week. ABC Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz says Kyle Mullen and another trainee were hospitalized on Friday.
While there can always be a previously unknown medical problem that is found in an individual, having Mullen die and another trainee hospitalized at the same time raises all kinds of red flags and will be heavily scrutinized.
Teachers and school kids in Austin, Texas have been told to bring their own bottled water to class today. ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas says human error at a processing plant has left the city's water with a cloudy, unusual appearance.
Austin's water may be perfectly safe to drink or to cook with, but city officials have told residents to boil it for at least 2 minutes first, just to be safe. Restaurant managers are driving out to the suburbs, drawing water from their systems and hauling it into Austin. Free water bottles are being distributed until the boil water order is lifted.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is expected to lift the state's mask mandate in schools as soon as today. New York could soon follow. One budget carrier wants to buy another budget carrier. The parent company of Frontier Airlines says it plans to buy Spirit Airlines in a nearly $3 billion cash and stock deal that'll still need to get past anti-monopoly regulators. You're listening to ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
The City Council of Minneapolis today expected to discuss no-knock warrants after a 20-year-old man was shot and killed by police who were serving one last week. There have been several days of protests after the shooting of Amir Locke. NFL star Alvin Kamara arrested in Las Vegas overnight in connection with the fight at a nightclub. The Saints running back facing assault charges due in court later this afternoon. Less than a week to go before the Super Bowl, and ABC's Alex Stone has been inside SoFi Stadium in Southern California.
Everybody here at SoFi Stadium now has to wear a mask. I've got mine on. All of the workers setting up for the Super Bowl, they've got theirs on. On Sunday, vaccination proof will be mandatory. If not that, then a negative PCR test done right before the fan arrives here. And everybody entering will be given a KN95 mask. Masks will be mandatory during the game. And in fact, the LA County Department of Public Health says they will have minders moving around the stadium telling people to pull up their masks.
At the Olympics in China, American skier Michaela Schifrin skied off the course in the giant slalom, ending her chances at defending her gold medal from the last games in that event. Teammate Nina O'Brien suffered a crash in her second run and had to be taken away on a stretcher. Team USA says she is alert and responsive. An American figure skater Vincent Zhao testing positive for COVID just a day before he's supposed to skate in the individual short program. This is ABC News.
If I'm going to work from my home office, I need my home office to work for me.
It's possible at Staples. To be most productive, my home office needs to have everything my office has. Also possible because your local Staples store has the tools your business needs to get work done from home. And right now, you can save up to 40% on select chairs to put the finishing touch on your home office. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 2/26. In-store only while supplies last.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
A winter weather advisory is in effect for some of our north and far western counties. We are tracking early freezing rain to give way to all rain throughout the day as an area of low pressure brings a lot of moisture into North Carolina today. It's also going to be a chilly one. High temperatures are going to struggle this afternoon, heading into the upper 30s and the mid 40s, and by tonight falling into the upper 20s and mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in a weather center.
8:05, currently at 32 degrees here in Rutherfordton, and we are still under that winter weather advisory until 10 o'clock this morning. So don't see any precipitation out there at my front door anyway. You may have something where you are, but right now we're in that iffy stage of below freezing, freezing, and above freezing for the next little while. After that, it's going to be warming up nicely throughout today, and we'll be getting up to about 44 for a daytime high, and then back down tonight to about freezing mark again. Right now it is pretty calm out there. Some stories here on the local scene. Spindale police investigating a fatal hit and run. Pedestrian was struck and killed just before 9 p.m. Sunday night on Ledbetter Road. Officials say the suspect driver fled the scene. The Spindale police are investigating that hit and run that resulted in death. The department says the incident happened just before 9 p.m. Sunday night on Ledbetter Road, and they're looking for the suspect. And if you have any information, please contact the police department. They'd love to find out who that was. And there is a fatality there involved. Death, hit and run. Shame, shame, shame on whoever did that and ran. That's Spindale's story this morning. We'll be having a drawing coming up here in just a few moments for the Be My Baby Valentine first drawing of the week, and that's coming up here in a few moments. We're trying to make in touch right now with the job market folks and see what kind of offers there are out there for going to work, and we'll do that when we get back from here.
Trying to decide where to shop for your Valentine this year? That's easy. The Burnt Chimney Gifts and Decor, a gorgeous showroom full of vintage reloved furniture, unique specialty items made mostly by local artists right here in Rutherford County. Soaps, wreaths, candles, jewelry, and so much more. If you can't decide on the right gift, they have gift certificates available. The Burnt Chimney Gifts and Decor, East Main Street in Forest City, or call 245-1786. Happy Valentine's Day from the Burnt Chimney.
You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton. Not making contact with the job market folks this morning, and not available this morning. They don't have their phones turned on or something, but we may have to move right on by because we were reaching into the mailbag and pull out a Valentine for first drawing of the week, and it is a free meal at Copper Penny Grill, Forest City or Rutherford. It's a $10 gift card, voucher good for food only. Tax, alcoholic beverage, and gratuity not included, but this is for a free meal only. And $10 donation. So the first prize, and of course, all the preliminary winners will be going back into the box for the grand prize, which will be next Monday morning. But the $10 bill at Copper Penny goes to Jamie and Patrick Flack. Jamie and Patrick Flack has won the meal from Copper Penny. Congratulations to you. And we'll have that card here. Just stop by here and pick that up and take that down to Copper Penny, either Rutherfordton or Forest City, and enjoy yourself a meal on WCAB and on Copper Penny. We appreciate you entering that card, and all you got to do is get that card to us either by mail and 287. Let's see, Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton 28139 is the mail. If you want to bring it by, here's 191 Whiteside Road. You can bring it by to make sure that it gets to us. And sometimes if you mail it too late in the week, we don't get it in time because we'll have to, when we check the mail on Friday morning, that'll be the last time we'll be able to check the mail before we have the drawing on Monday morning. So be aware of the time frame there. If you want to bring it by to ensure yourself of that, do that, or just stick it in the mail today, and it should get here by Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. So keep that in mind as we go through the week. All right, some other news from here and there this morning. The Thermal Belt Rail Trail will soon be featured on television. The popular running and bike trail is 13 miles long from Gilkey to Forest City. The trail is a former railroad bed and runs through the heart of downtown Spindale. The PBS North Carolina, formerly UNC TV television show, North Carolina Weekend, will air a segment that highlights the Thermal Belt Rail Trail and Main Street, Spindale. It will air Thursday, February 24th at 9 p.m. and repeat Friday at 9 p.m., Saturday at 10 a.m., and the following Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. It will also be available for on-demand viewing anytime online on the pbsnc.org website and the PBS-NC Facebook page and YouTube channel. The episode will likely repeat on television several times over the next couple of years. The segment came about through local connections with public television producers. One of the producers and his wife live in the region and are avid supporters of the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. Jerry Stensland, Rutherford Outdoor Coalition board chair, was interviewed for the North Carolina Weekend segment when the television crew was in Spindale last October. Stensland spoke about the history and the importance of the trail. Jess Kerr, Outdoor Programs Director for Rutherford Outdoor Coalition, said the production team also filmed in some of the Main Street businesses, including Barley's. Kerr expects the segment will be at least several minutes running. Spindale Mayor Mickey Bland is also eager to see the show. This is free advertising for the rail trail and for our downtown, he said. Hopefully more people will be encouraged to visit our area. This is good for all of Rutherford County. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Daily Courier is also doing a cash-in story on Coach Cash, who's retiring. King Solomon once famously said, "For everything there is a season." After 52 seasons on the prep gridiron in both North and South Carolina, Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy head football coach Jerry Cash has decided to hang up the headsets. When asked why he chose not to retire, Cash gave a typical response. "I'm old," he said with a chuckle. "In all seriousness, my health is just not as good as it used to be, and coaching takes more and more out of me. I always talked myself when I couldn't give the kids all the effort. I always told myself when I couldn't give the kids all the effort and energy they deserve from a coach, it was time to step aside and let someone else run the ship." Cash also admits that COVID and the effects it had on recent high school football seasons played a part in his decision. Having to play in the spring and then turn around and play in the fall was tough on the players, but it was also tough on me, he said. There were just some days at practice I had to sit down in a chair and just watch. COVID also canceled our middle school seasons the last couple of years, and that's really hurt the program. To be honest, and this is nothing against TJ, they're probably going to be in a rebuilding mode for the next 5 years or so. So if I still thought I had 5 years of coaching left to me, I would definitely stay. I love coaching at TJ, but I don't have 5 years. I have 1 or 2 at most. Since they're going to be in a rebuilding mode, I thought the fair thing to do is for them to bring in someone new for a fresh start." Jerry Cash, athletic coach of the year, probably. Meanwhile, congratulations go out to Dr. Thad Harrell of Isothermal. He's been named Chief Development Officer of Isothermal Community College, according to President Margaret Annunziata. Harrell will oversee the college's Rutherford and Polk Foundations, which support innovative programming, scholarships, and other activities at the college. This move is designed to put an emphasis on resource development, partnerships, and fundraising to greater impact Isothermal's mission. Annunziata said one of Thad's great strengths is his ability to develop relationships. This position is designed to capitalize on that strength and to bring greater resources to the college so we can better serve our students and our community. Isothermal has a great story to tell, and we believe Thad is the one to tell it far and wide. Thad has been Isothermal's Vice President of Community and Workforce Development since 2009. In that role, he supervised the college's continuing education, customized training, small business center, and Polk Center areas. He also led the college's grant writing efforts, the Alumni Association, and the 2 nonprofit foundations. So he'll be moving in that direction. Congratulations to Dr. Thad Harrell. Well, the General Assembly will have to redraw maps and submit them by noon, February the 18th, to a three-judge panel in Superior Court for approval. They shot down the plan that was there. If the panel decides the General Assembly's new maps don't meet the court's new standards, it can select maps submitted by the groups who sued the state. Whatever the trial court selects, the state or any of the challengers can appeal the decision by 5 p.m. February 23rd. That's the day before candidates filing is set to open again. So there is a chance that North Carolina will see a repeat of what happened in December when the court shut down candidate filing, then reopened it, then shut it down again. Because of the timeline, the Supreme Court only issued an order, not an opinion, meaning that it told the relevant groups what they had to do next, but did not describe the full legal justifications to underpinning the decision. The opinion will be submitted later, according to the document. Chief Justice Paul Newby, a Republican elected in 2020, expressed his frustration with the decision in a snappy dissent, writing that the Democratic majority court interpreted the Constitution in such a way that left no limits to this court's power. So I don't know what that exactly means to the primaries here in North Carolina, but I'm sure at some point they'll stop their arguing and bickering and move forward with some sensibilities. Hope so anyway. Meanwhile, a story I did earlier, multiple people are treated for overdoses in Grove Park Inn, of all places, in Asheville. Officers with Asheville Police Department responded to the Grove Park Inn, and they found several people unconscious. All 6 were later conscious and alert after Narcan was administered. They were passed out not conscious, and Narcan was administered. They were still taken to the hospital for evaluation afterwards. Officers responded to the overdoses 1 day after Buncombe County health officials sent out an alert from the new Spike Alert system, broadcasting that there has been a significant increase in cocaine and fentanyl overdoses in Buncombe County, as there are other places. And hopefully, at some point, we can get a handle on that and stop the immense drug trafficking in North Carolina. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. And again, we want to congratulate Jamie and Patrick Flack. They were the first winners of the Be My Baby drawing this week, and they won a dinner from Copper Penny, either downtown Forest City or downtown Rutherford, either one.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. We know that due to COVID, many people don't want to come in the office. If you need to discuss your insurance needs or just make a payment, you can come through the drive-thru, telephone us, or drop in. We want to see you, but it doesn't have to be across from a desk. Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
You know, sometimes in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day or other times, a tree will fall in our yard, backyard, or a field, or maybe a big limb breaks and we can't handle it ourselves, so we call somebody that can. That's why I recommend that you call All Around Tree Service. I'm going to give you that number now to write it down close by so you'll have it. Put it in your phone or put it by your desk so you'll know who to call. That's 828-429-1956. 828-429-1956. Johnny Davis is the owner-operator of All Around Tree Service, and he can take away those limbs for those trees before you cut them down, take them away, remove trees, haul off the cut limbs, and the tree that's there, well, you'll never know it's gone because he does such a great job. Fully insured, too. So if you are looking for someone to do your tree work for you, call All Around Tree Service. Call Johnny Davis at 828-429-1956. Well, tell me it ain't so. Tell me it ain't so. Hershey, tell me it ain't so. Yeah, candy maker Hershey Company has gone woke on us. They've become ugly. They are now firing employees that didn't get vaccinated. There are several personal affronts happening here. Among those is being paid to shut up and not sue them. Some signed and spoke of their pay anonymously, like the internet. An algorithm determined it. Some received the equivalent of just over 2 months' pay. But Hershey is now firing people if they haven't been vaccinated. I wouldn't have thought Hershey would have ever done that, but then this newer generation is a whole lot different than the founders of the company. I think about the J.C. Penney company. J.C. Penney was a man of high standards and character and integrity, and a Christian man. Down the generations, the folks that taken over J.C. Penney, not quite the same. Not quite the same. So it does make a difference. And hopefully some of these other companies founded by great men of integrity, when they pass on or retire, the new generation don't change it and make it different. All right, we have the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Lowry coming up right now.
Yes, sir. In the past in the past 48 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 208 calls. The jail has processed 22 arrests, and we currently have 167 detainees in the jail. Under arrest reports, we have Stephanie Pitts of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. We have Samantha Chassie, no address listed, charged with domestic violence protection order violation. We have Robert Bruce Johnson of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Braxton Kelly Atkins of Mooresboro, charged with domestic violence protection order violation. Kimberly Shea Clements of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor, failure to appear on felony. We have Amos Gus Irvin of Forest City, charged with extradition, fugitive other state, simple possession Schedule 4, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of Schedule 6. We have Jeremy Christian Clark of Ellenboro, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession with intent to manufacture or deliver methamphetamine. Rita Hull Yelton of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Damon Aaron Peacock of Arden, North Carolina, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Cody Herman of Forest City, charged with unauthorized use of motor vehicle and assault on a female. Michael Wesley Young, Jr. of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Rasheem Jaquay Baker of Forest City, charged with civil possession Schedule 6 and carrying concealed gun. Under incident reports, we have Deputy Lance Johnson reported an incident of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine. We have Caroline Baptist Church reported an incident of breaking and entering. Ronald Scott Carter reported an incident of fraud. Robertson Creek Free Will Church reported an incident of damage to real property. And Sierra Nicole Humphreys reported an incident of felony larceny. And that's it.
The music's on us on WCAB.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. A couple of Triangle Area ACC women's basketball teams posting big wins on Sunday. Number 24, North Carolina, rolling past Miami, 85-38, one of their biggest margins of wins in many years. Meanwhile, Duke edged Wake Forest, 81-76 at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Miami Dolphins getting a new coach. Here's Tom Merriam.
The Miami Dolphins have named San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel as their head coach, making him the first minority candidate to get hired so far this offseason. The multiracial McDaniel replaces Brian Flores, who was fired and subsequently sued the NFL for racist hiring practice.
Justin Herbert hit Mark Andrews with 2 touchdown passes, leading the AFC to a 41-35 victory over the NFC and the return of the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas. Herbert won the Offensive MVP award after passing for 98 yards, finding the Baltimore tight end for 2 touchdowns in the first half of the Charger Stars' first Pro Bowl appearance. Joey Logano won the exhibition Busch Light Clash on Sunday on a temporary quarter-mile track built inside Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. The race was made for TV and intended to hype NASCAR's upcoming season that will be beginning at Daytona. The defending Olympic champion is out of the slalom. Here's Steve Vardaman.
Michaela Schifrin came here to Beijing with gold medal dreams. Those dreams will have to wait for another day, though. Schifrin missed a gate at the start of the giant slalom, knocking her out.
If you do any small errors, you really can't get away with that. So, as you can see, I got the worst of it on that turn.
Schifrin's Olympics are not over. On Wednesday, she'll compete in the women's slalom. She is one of the favorites.
Steve Futterman in Beijing, and you're listening to NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
At alternativepower.com.
If you or someone you know has been the victim of a crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Services is here to provide support. The office provides a range of free, confidential services to help you regain yourself, receive compensation for damages incurred, protect yourself and your family, and move beyond the stigma of being victimized. Visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
Let's go back to the Olympics, where the U.S. Olympic team has added to its medal count. Here's Denny Kapp.
Team USA picks up its 3rd silver medal of the Games, doing so in the figure skating team event, which was won by the Russian Olympic Committee. A stunning end to the women's giant slalom for defending champion Michaela Schifrin. She was disqualified after missing the 5th turn and crashing during her first run. More disappointment for Team USA in men's snowboarding, where defending champion Red Gerard was denied a spot on the podium, finishing 4th. And American Darian Stevens placed 8th in qualifying to join the 12-person field that will compete for medals in the women's freestyle skiing Big Air on Tuesday morning in Beijing. I'm Denny Kapp.
In men's top 25 college basketball on Sunday, number 6 Houston beating Cincinnati 80-58. Number 15 Providence over Georgetown 71-52. Maryland fell to Ohio State 82-67. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
A winter weather advisory is in effect for some of our north and far western counties. We are tracking early freezing rain to give way to all rain throughout the day as an area of low pressure brings a lot of moisture into North Carolina today. It's also going to be a chilly one. High temperatures are going to struggle this afternoon, heading into the upper 30s and the mid 40s, and by tonight falling into the upper 20s and mid 30s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in a weather center.
That winter weather advisory that we're under, it ends at 10 o'clock this morning here for the foothills. Right now we are at 33 degrees and no rain here at our location. Maybe it's where you are, there might be some, but right now there's no rain here, and that winter weather advisory ending up here pretty soon. So it's going to be turning out to be, looks like around 44 for our daytime high today. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas from 100.9 FM, 590 AM. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program today is Robert Lowry.
Good morning. My name is Robert Lowry.
I'm here this morning with you to do the Word of Faith radio program. And this morning I would like to share with you on what the Scripture has to say concerning a vow. And this is something that as I have studied it and, of course, partaken of it in my own life, I see how important it is and how serious it can be. Of course, many of you know that after you have met someone that God has spoken to you, that's to be your future wife, and you're going to get married, and it's going to be a wonderful day that you have, on your wedding day. And one of the things that you will probably remember if you've already been married is you make a vow, a wedding vow. And it's very serious in the sense of you're stating with your mouth, you're speaking forth a pledge, a promise, a vow concerning the marriage you have made to your spouse to be. And it's important because God is present at our weddings, and He is there to guide us and lead us and direct us. And it's so wonderful to me to know that He provided me with a wonderful wife, and our vows were made, and we're doing everything we know in our hearts to perform them, to live them. And when we need help, we go to God. And that's what all of us should do. Now, I wanted to read to you just what Webster's dictionary says concerning a vow. It means to promise, a solemn promise or pledge, especially being made to God, or even people back then made them to their own gods. Dedicating oneself to an act or a service or a way of life. Marriage vows were very solemn affirmation or assertion of the two being joined together. It's a promise of solemnity, a resolution to do or to get. You declare emphatically through a vow what your pledge is going to be, what your oath you're taking is going to be. And people sometimes when they do this, they don't realize the importance of knowing that it's in their heart to make this vow, because a vow is very serious in the sense of it even scripturally tells you, and I'll read that scripture to you in a little bit, you don't make a vow unless you're going to keep it. And there could be consequences in any person's life when they make vows and they do not fulfill them. And in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew language, it was a solemn promise made to God or to another deity. And in Genesis 20, in Numbers 30, verse 2, if a man vows a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break and profane his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Now that's very serious. You can see that. I remember as a young boy growing up, and I was born in the area of the time of the Great Depression, and my dad was the type of a man that if he gave his word to someone that they had a need, that he would help them or do something for them, it was like he was going to do that. I mean, he did not just candidly speak out and say something to somebody just to get them to move on. He waited in his heart, obviously, and said, this is what I can do for you. and he would fulfill it. I watched him do that. And that meant a lot to me growing up, to see my dad to live that way. And so I was very thankful for that. And then also in Genesis 28, we have Jacob. Jacob got into a situation where he was kind of desperate. And some vows are made out of a desperation. They're in a situation, they need help, and in our case, it's wonderful to know that we have a God, a Father, and a Lord Jesus Christ who will help us if we're sincere and dedicated to what we need and we're willing to lay our life down for it. Just like Jacob here in Genesis 28:20. Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me food to eat and clothing to wear, so that I may come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God." This is what we call a conditional vow. There's two types. There's an unconditional vow that you make, and most of that would be to God. You're vowing to be a child of God because He is our Creator. He is the one who made us in His own image, in His own likeness. And so, to me, that's a vow that I want to make because I'm so thankful and grateful, and I hope you are too this morning, that you are a creation of God Almighty. He made us into His likeness, His image, and He made us to be like Him on this earth, and He set mankind in a place of responsibility and authority, that He would lead us and guide us into all truth in our life. And I am so thankful for that. And here you see Jacob making this vow, and he put a stone which I have set up as a pillar, a monument, shall be as God's house, a sacred place to me. And all the increase of possessions that you give me, I will give the 10th to you. In other words, all of us know through the scriptures, if you've read it and studied it, that our one requirement that God put with us as in covenant with Him is a 10th of all that we have, we give back to God in the house of the Lord, that where we go to worship and be in the Word of God together as a congregation. And that is a command from God for us to keep. And if we make a vow to be a member of, a child of God, and to follow Him and to live with Him, then we need to fulfill that vow. Shouldn't be any situation with us that a 10th of our income isn't given in the house of God. And so I just love it that where, you see these scriptures, how God promised this. And in one of those scriptures I wanted to read in Leviticus tells us how, or I'm sorry, not Leviticus, in Ecclesiastes, how important it is to understand the truth on a vow. In chapter 5, verse number 4, when you vow a vow or make a pledge to God, do not put off paying it, for God has no pleasure in fools, those who witlessly mock Him. So pay what you vow. It is better that you should not vow than that you should vow and not pay. Do not allow your mouth to cause your body to sin. And do not say before the messenger, the priest, that it was an error or a mistake. See how important that is, how serious it is? You need to weigh it out. You need to know in your heart before you are in making the vow that it is something that's inside of you. It's a heartfelt. I'm making this vow because I have full intention in fulfilling it. Why should God be made angry at your voice and destroy the work of your hands? In other words, we know that if we do make a vow with God, we want to fulfill it. And I'm so thankful for all the things that God has done in my life. And I know once I got married and made our marriage vows, and we went on to the call of God on our life, to Bible school and the different areas that he called us to do. And one of the things that my wife and I vowed in our heart before God together was that we were going to seek the will of God for our life. We were not going to be pulled off course and led off by anything false or not true. We were going to hear from God, his voice in us saying, yes, this is the way, walk in it. And you know, that has been such a great blessing for my wife Marcia and I to have that in our hearts, because we've had more than one situation that where we needed to hear God's direction. We needed to know what God's will was for us on the next phase of walking in the ministry with him. Because one side was saying, oh, you're trained to go do this. But we didn't have it in our heart. We wanted to be in his perfect will. And whatever that required of us, we knew that we trusted him. We stepped out in faith, believing him. He was going to fulfill it and take care of it. And you know, he did. He did it for us, and we are always reminded of that in our hearts. Anytime we think about that, we share together, and we just are so grateful for the way he led us and got us even to this place where we are here now in Spindale, Rutherfordton, North Carolina, with the church here, Word of Faith, as associate ministers, helps ministers, and what God has us doing here in this church for the work of the ministry that's taken place in our hearts, in our lives as a church congregation. Now, I want to give you one of the things I want to go to today is the seriousness of it. You can see how that God himself in Genesis chapter 3, you're all familiar, and I'm sure you are familiar, with the fact that God had created Adam and Eve and had given them specific instructions how to live in the Garden of Eden. And he told them what trees, what fruit they could eat of and what not to eat of. And the devil, in chapter 3, through the serpent, came and deceived Eve into eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which God had said to them, of that tree you do not eat, or you shall surely die. And that should have been laid in their heart. That was a vow that God gave them and said to them, this is truth. Obey it and walk with me, and you'll be doing wonderful. So we find that she did do it, and she brought it to Adam, and he partook of it too. And so both of them were out of the will of God, and they could tell they were not with God like they were. And so God said to them, what are you doing? Have you ate of that tree? And then when she said, the serpent deceived me. And so then the Lord, in chapter 3, verse 14, God said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed above all domestic animals, above every wild living thing of the field. Upon your belly you shall go. You shall eat dust and what it contains all the days of your life. Verse 15. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring, human beings' offspring, and her offspring, and he's capitalized the O here. This is God's offspring that he's going to bring forth in this earth, that's not going to be a part of the devil's doing. He will bruise you. Here's what God's offspring will do. He will bruise and tread your head underfoot, and you will lie and wait and bruise his heel. Well, we know that that was Jesus, and that he was born through the Virgin Mary by the power of the Spirit of God. And in being born on this earth, he became the fulfillment of that verse that God vowed would happen. This is what I want you to see throughout the scripture, how that God fulfilled his vows. Here in Genesis 3:14 and 15, he makes the vow, and then we know that vow was fulfilled. And I want you to look at Psalms 22. Over here, I want to go a little more with the vowing and what God did, and through Jesus, how he knew this was his calling on his life. In Psalms 22, look at verse 25. My praise shall be of you in the great congregation. This is Jesus, and this is prophetic in Psalm 22 vow, prophetic word of God that would take place, and it did. My praise shall be of you in the great congregation. I will pay to him my vows, made in the time of trouble, before them who fear, revere, and worship him. In other words, even on the cross, when Jesus was on that cross, suffering for us, giving up his life for us, and he had to face that terrible method of death that they used in those days of nailing you to the cross and him dying there. But he said, on that cross, he paid his vows to God. He did not sin. He stood his place that God had given him to be the one that was going to save humanity. And we know that in 3 days, he rose again and came back and fulfilled the will of God and became our Lord and our Savior. And we know that that was so vital and important. Look at verse 16. For like a pack of dogs, they have encompassed me. A company of evildoers has encircled me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. The evildoers gaze at me. They part my clothing among them, cast lots for my raiment. A long shirt-like garment, seamless under tunic. But be not far from me, O Lord, O my help. Hasten to aid me. Deliver my life from the sword, my dear life, my only one, from the power of the dog, the agent of execution. Save me from the lion's mouth, for you have answered me kindly from the horns of the wild oxen. In verse 22, I will declare your name to my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise you. That is so powerful. I mean, that took place. This vow was fulfilled. Look at Hebrews chapter 2. Let's go to Hebrews. I want to show you the fulfillment. It's so powerful. in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 12. For he says, I will declare the Father's name to my brethren. In the midst of the worshiping congregation, I will sing hymns of praise to you. And again he says, my trust, assured reliance, and confident hope shall be fixed in him. And yet again, here I am, I and the children whom God has given me. We're his children. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Since, therefore, these, his children, share in flesh and blood in the physical nature of human beings, he himself, in a similar manner, partook of the same nature, Jesus did, that by going through death, he might bring to naught and make of no effect him who had the power of death, that is, the devil. And also that he might deliver and completely set free all those who through the haunting fear of death were held in bondage throughout the whole course of their life. Until Jesus went to the cross and died and rose again, we were all under that death curse that came through when Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, and the devil, every human being after that, born of the natural birth, is born in sin, with a sin nature that had to be changed. And this is where God vowed to send his son, Jesus, to the cross to die for us, that through him he would make a way for us to repent and get right with God again and get rid of that sin nature and make a vow and a promise and a pledge with him to obey him, to walk with him, to fulfill our call before him. And Jesus said in verse 16, for as we all know, Christ did not take hold of angels, the fallen angels, to give them a helping and delivering hand. He went to them, didn't he? When he went from the cross, he went into the earth and he dealt with those fallen angels that had sinned. But he did take hold of the fallen descendants of Abraham to reach out to them a helping and delivering hand. That's us. We're descendants of Abraham. We were the fallen ones, and he reached out to us to provide eternal life. So it is evident that it was essential that he made like his brethren in every respect, in order that he might become a merciful, sympathetic, faithful high priest in the things related to God, to make atonement, propitiation for the people's sins. He's done that for us. Thank you, Jesus. Aren't you so grateful today? I am so thankful and grateful. For because he himself in his humanity has suffered in being tempted, tested, and tried, he is able immediately, look at that, to run to the cry of assist, relieve those who are being tempted, tested, and tried, and who therefore are being exposed to suffering. Aren't you so grateful? I am so grateful for that today, that Jesus runs to us to aid us and to help us immediately. It is so powerful. And then turn over to Hebrews 6. Of course, in Hebrews 5:10, it also says, Jesus being designated and recognized and saluted by God as high priest after the order with the rank of Melchizedek. And Melchizedek from the Old Testament was a high priest that had no beginning and no ending. He had no record of date of birth. He had no record of death. So we don't know all about Melchizedek, but we know he was a type of Jesus Christ. Because when Jesus came, God came and said that he is a priest after the order with the rank of Melchizedek. And then in chapter 6 verse 13. For when God made his promise to Abraham, he swore by himself, since he had no one greater by whom to swear by, or pledge by, or make an oath by, saying, blessing, I will certainly bless you, multiplying, I will multiply you. And so it was that he, Abraham, having waited long and endured patiently, realized and obtained in the birth of Isaac as a pledge of what was to come, what God had promised him. See, God kept his pledge to Abraham. And we all know the story. I mean, he was almost 100 years old, and his wife, Sarah, was not having children, and God said, you will have a child. And he did. That vow came to pass. Men indeed swear by a greater than themselves, and without them in all disputes. The oath that was taken, the vow that was taken for confirmation is final, ending strife. Accordingly, God also, in his desire to show more convincingly and beyond doubt to those who were to inherit the promise, the unchangeableness of his purpose and plan, intervened, mediated with an oath. He came with an oath and pledged to us what he was going to do. This was so that by two unchangeable things, his promise and his oath, in which it is impossible for God ever to prove false or deceive us, that we who have fled to him for refuge might have mighty indwelling strength, strong encouragement to grasp and hold fast the hope appointed for us and set before us. Then verse 20, where Jesus entered in for us in advance, a forerunner, having become that high priest forever, after the order and the rank of Melchizedek. I mean, all I can do today to say to all of you listening out there, this is so powerful. What God did and the way he established it, speaking like he did with an oath or a vow or a pledge that he fulfills. He's expecting of us now, becoming a child of his, a follower of his through the covenant he made through Jesus Christ to us, that we keep our word. And to follow God, you must obey him, you must serve him, you must have faith in him and what he has done and all that he's doing and will do and continue to do. Things aren't good on this earth right now, but God is in control. I'm so thankful for God being in charge of what's taken forth on the earth right now. I hope you are too. And as we're closing today, I just want to say to all of you, my prayer is that this will go into your heart, that you understand your vow and your pledge and your place with God, that it's very serious, but take it the right way and know that he did it for us. And I am so thankful and so grateful, and I know you are too today. So let's just be thankful. And I want you to know Word of Faith Fellowship's here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 to 9 a.m. And if you need to go and see what we've done in the past, you can go to wordoffaithfellowship.org and look for radio programs, and you can get different programs will be listed, and you can tune them in and listen to that program also that was already done. So I just want to thank you for listening today, and I hope this had something that will help you in understanding how it is to make a vow and to keep it. We love you, and we thank you, and have a good day.